We're diving into some of the biggest surprises, both good and bad, that come with starting your first garden and while you learn as you grow. So let me know in the comments below or here in the chat with us what surprised you most when you first started gardening? What surprises you year after year? This can be a conversation for those of us that have been growing for any amount of time. Maybe you haven't started growing, or maybe this is your first year growing. I want to hear all about it. I am going to show a video of my garden surprises that I'm having this year. You think you planted 6 tomato plants, but now you've got 12? Welcome to the wild world of garden surprises where the unexpected harvests are often the best part. You planned your garden perfectly, or so you thought. Then a mystery squash appeared from your compost, started growing salad. Maybe you had lettuce that reseeded itself. Let's talk about the good surprises hiding in your soil. Bonus at the end is an announcement about what's coming up on the channel. So I think something that happens with gardeners is we're in a hurry, perhaps, and the soil isn't ready. What do I mean by that? So my browser lost sound was the notification that came up. And this has happened to me with StreamYard for the last 2 months. I feel like it's been going on. So now I have people in the chat here. For those of you in the replay, I'm waiting for the chat to tell me welcome back. Okay. All right, we have Ohio Valley Prepping. Good evening. Mike's Chaotic Gardening says squash bugs. I heard of boars. The bugs are worse. Dave Knight says, hey, Shawnee Grows Outdoors with Big Matt. Hello, everyone. And this is where I discovered the browser gave me notification that it shut my sound off. And I cleared everything in the computer because I thought maybe that was why I was having issues because I'm using the recommended browser for StreamYard. Anyways, MKP, hello, welcome to our show. I had time to squeeze in a conversation. So, what gardeners learn the hard way? We're talking about surprises, both the good and the bad. We have our question tonight. What's the biggest surprise your garden has given you? Good, bad, or weird? Drop it in the chat or comments below. Maybe it's something you learned your first year. Maybe it's something you thought you learned, but you forget every year, and then you remind yourself, wait, that's right. I'm not supposed to do XYZ. Maybe there is something that surprised you this year in your garden. I'm going to show a video of what surprised me this year in my gardens because I have many to talk about. DCBs, welcome. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. It wasn't there. So, we're going to talk about the thing with gardeners being in a hurry is the soil isn't ready. Many new gardeners are shocked to learn that their backyard soil might be too compacted, might be clay heavy, might be nutrient poor. It might need some compost, right? We might need to do the soil test. And this can look like many things. A soil test can be a jar test. How many of you in the chat or in the replay have done a jar test? I think I'm going to do it and film a video about it. I was talking to the Wickersshire Project Off Grid, I think is the full channel name, about showing how to do digging out parts of soil for all your garden spaces, putting them together, putting it in a jar, mixing it up with water, shaking it, and letting it sit. After an hour, where's the sand line? After 2 hours, where is the next line? Would it be silt or clay that's next? And then after 48 hours, where's the next line? And then you can see what percentage of what is in your soil, helping you decide, do you need to bring in a load of sand to decompact clay? Do you need to just add your compost? I think the thing that we can tell new gardeners is start composting yesterday, just like the whole planting a tree conversation, right? Chat question, did you ever think soil was just dirt? Be honest. I did always say dirt, of course. And then I learned how soil has much more life than just the dirt under your fingernails, right? You can have soil tests from the store. It's like 4 test tubes, and it's to test probably alkaline or acidity. I'm not sure. I have one in a box, which I can pull out and possibly have in that video when we talk about soil testing that I hopefully will film and have time for. And then I also want to mention what it's going to cost for me to send soil to a lab and what different parts they'll test, because you can choose like the basic lab test or you can have the advanced lab test. So I wanted to go into what is the procedure to get it there? How much does it cost for my specific state? And then what do they cover? So we're going to head to the chat to see what you guys are talking about. DCB says a zucchini the size of my arm overnight. Isn't that just crazy that they grow that fast? I have a garden away from home. It's 15 minutes to get there. I did plant the dreaded zucchini this year. I'm not a fan of summer squash if you're new to the channel. I planted Magda, which is a cuter version, I feel like, of zucchini, but I definitely want to harvest them when they're small. And so this is tricky, this game I'm playing of not being there every day. It's actually been 3 days since I've been there because of the rain, and I might have a monster waiting for me. DCB says clay, heavy, mine is clay. The thing I see with clay is adding sand, definitely, and then keeping it covered, because it seems like clay just wants to dry out and crack and make this hard scale thing, like the first half inch, right? So mulch is our friend. Mulch can be your dried grass clippings that do not have any lawn chemicals on them. It can be maybe some straw or like a oat straw that you know someone grew organically, and maybe someone has some spent hay. I've seen people use spent hay. I've used hay before and I wouldn't recommend it because of the amount of weeds that came out of it. It just wasn't good for me. Mulch can be living plants. Just plant more things like a ground cover. It can be a pathway that you just mow, which can be grass that you just mow just to keep something there that you don't have a vegetable growing. Keeping it shaded by planting more densely, of course. Mike's Chaotic Gardening says, I have. Dave Knight says, I had volunteer squash from last year. This is going to be in my video that I'm going to show. It's a squash or pumpkin. They're coming out of everywhere. Oh, I actually have one not in the video that I could talk about. There's an arbor that we put up at the offsite garden. It has beans. It's supposed to be having beans because I planted grapes, but they don't look like they're alive, to be honest with you guys. It's kind of a whole thing. And I had top dressed with compost. Well, guess what? Now there's some kind of squash or pumpkin monsters coming out of everywhere I top dressed with compost. Is the sound back? It says I lost sound. Nobody's mentioning it yet. Maybe I caught it in time. Oh no, Storm says audio gone. Back? Okay. That's twice now. Now we're starting to tally. How many times has audio crashed with StreamYard using Chrome when I reset everything? Somebody put a 2, we're on 2. Okay. I have to just keep staring at the thing to see if it comes up because it doesn't make a sound. DCB says, I had volunteer potatoes, like a bunch of them. Real cool. That is fantastic treasures to have volunteer. I hope to have that next year. I planted my potatoes in a new space this year, and I am planning on leaving some to see if I can get some volunteers next year. DCBs, I do have the ability to till it, and I do. And I feel like I have to until I figure out something else. I even tilled my cover crop in. And I know people out there are going to be gasping, how dare she disrupt the soil food web and those poor worms by tilling. But I'm growing in Minnesota soil, and until I figure out the appropriate mulching and organic matter to make it so I don't have to, sorry. DCB says solarization can work wonders with compacted soil. So that is what I'm doing with the one bed that is the worst. It is being solarized right now. Stay tuned for a video in the future of us walking through how I put the cover on for solarization. We're going to be taking it off here in August, which is like in 2 days. I hear something going on outside, so it's distracting my brain right now. And then we're going to plant the fall crops in it, which I have the seeds. Do you guys want to see a seed haul? Let me know in the chat if you want to see the seed haul, because I have them here. Hello, Bobby. Welcome to the conversation. What gardeners learned the hard way? What are surprises? What are things you wish you would have known? What do you want to tell a gardener? Good evening, Storms, Radios, and Cats. Thank you for helping me out with the sound and audio situations. Bobby says, I got peppers coming out of my ears now. What am I going to do with them? There is a gnat. So, do you make roasts ever? Beef roast, pork roast, throw peppers in there with them. Um, I don't know about lacto-fermenting peppers. I'm just getting into lacto-fermenting this week. I started with cucumbers. We're on day 3, I think, of them being in the cupboard. I used to pickle peppers. I know you know all this stuff. I know you know about grilling and stuffing. Freezing means they're good for a stir fry later, or a stew, or a chili. It's good to save them for chili in the winter. You can always sell them and give them away. says exactly what I was saying. The seeds in the hay, it's just not worth it. That straw is absolutely better. 100%. Yeah. Now you can buy bales of something called easy straw that has talc, sticky material to keep it from blowing away, and it's supposed to be like 98% seed free. I have heard of gardeners in Minnesota using it and talking about like grass growing up in it, but it's not that big of a deal compared to what you would have if you left your ground uncovered. I would not, I don't know what the cost is. I mean, the size gardens that I have, I would need like a truckload of those things, those easy straw bales. So I haven't used them. I'm starting to try and collect grass clippings. Last year I used newspaper. I would not use newspaper again. And it's not because of the whole, oh, the ink might be toxic. I think it's ugly. It didn't decompose. Like the next year, there was still newspaper. I just hate the way it looked. Barry would like to accept all extra peppers, everyone. Put them in a box and ship them overnight over to Storms, Radios, and Cats. DCB says, I have cucumbers starting. I thought I didn't have cucumbers on the vine yet. And then once you start going through there was like 12. And so what I love to do with cucumbers is juice them, juice cucumbers, celery, lemons, ginger, and I drink that in the morning. And I juice enough for a quart, and I don't drink a quart in the morning. I drink like a half pint or a pint with ice, sometimes a little bit of water if it feels like it's too much, dilute it, you know. And my daughter loves making the juice. We are probably going to be doing juicing tomorrow. And like I said, I am trying to lacto ferment things just for myself. I know my kids aren't going to want to eat it. They're get me pickle fans. MKP says, big issue is my cucumber plants. Some start growing nice and green. Some start yellowish looking and keep growing yellow. I'm probably over or under watering, but keeping an eye on this, shaking my head. So what I did with cucumbers this year was I planted like 60. Just whoever wants to grow and stay alive and survival of the fittest is what we're going to do. I've also saved the whey from some milk. I let whole milk sit out on the counter. It didn't take 2 weeks. It was warm enough where I don't even know how long it took, but it wasn't a full gallon. I just wanted to do a little bit. The whey is the liquid, the curds is the solid chunks. I used a strainer and I took the chunks out and put it in my compost and I saved the liquid and I put it in my fridge. And now if I see powdery mildew or anything going on in the cucumbers or maybe the squash or even a tomato, I'm going to dilute it 50-50 with rainwater and foliar feed, and that's the plan of attack. I haven't had to do that. We've had rain every day, so there's probably mildew going to happen soon. I think you have to apply it when the leaves are dry. Now, as far as yellowing leaves, I always want to take them off, right? And you brought up something that is in here that watering is an art form. Overwatering and underwatering are both beginner pitfalls, and it kind of can and stay with you if we don't kind of learn how to know, right? How to read the plant, how to read the soil. How to check soil moisture with your finger. If you stick your finger in down to your knuckle and you take it out and soil is sticking to it and it feels wet, then you probably don't need to water. If it comes out dry or hard, you can't even get into the soil. Watch yourself here in the chat with what I'm saying. um, then you should most likely do a deep watering. Shallow watering is like, oh, I'm going to give it some water every day. The roots become dependent on water at the first couple inches of soil, and we don't want that. We want them to grow and reach down to the water table, right? That's why it's so nice when we get an inch of rain in a week. Now, I don't have a meter. There's some kind of water meter mechanism that I do not own, but I do have a soil thermometer to detect temperature because, again, when we're talking about if the soil is ready or not, temperature of the soil is a big thing. Beginner gardeners might think that just because a calendar date says I'm frost free or I'm supposed to plant on this day, according to Google, they're disappointed when it fails. Your own soil in your own yard is not going to be the same temperature as your neighbors, as another person in town, as the same person in your city or state. You have to just check your soil temps and look at your forecast. The bug, sorry, there's a gnat. Um, we have to become weather people. I would love a weather station where it keeps track of wind and lightning, and I think it does temperature charting so I can graph on my own in my own garden when was it below freezing at what point in the year. But they're a couple $100, so we're not there yet. Also, nature has its own plans. Okay, you're not alone. I lost the sound, it said. Did I catch it? I don't see anyone in the chat. Okay, DCB is Shawnee, you're muted. Am I back? That's number 3. Someone is keeping track in the chat. Is it back? Okay, DCBs is now it's back. Bowtie Life, hey, there you are. You're back. That is the third time now that this browser that was the recommended one has crashed. So we're just keeping a fun tally tonight, and I'm gonna really try and catch it every time. Because what was I talking about? I'm just gonna go back to the chat. Oh, and I am gonna show a video of the surprises I have in my garden. Number 4, I mean, do I leave the studio and come back? Why does it keep doing this? Why? Okay, thanks, Rick. Hey, Rick, how's it going? CR, how you doing? Thank you all. On tour with Radio Jonesy's here. I don't think it's my headset. It literally gives the message, your browser has disconnected your audio. Rar, okay? Rar. Yes, hello, on tour with Radio Jones, wow, look who's live. I know. My life, last week I just needed to go to bed because I was doing survival camp every day. And this week we are in the process of trying to get some life changes on the board, and that's exhausting my brain. And my littlest kiddo has decided to be very super feelings and emotional. And so timing of when I have me time has changed. And it's the end of the month, which means my job needs me more. And so it's all a balancing act because I would like to be here talking about gardening. Oh, should we show the seeds? They're over yonder. DCB says, Shawnee, my bees are doing very well this year. I came out of spring with 7 and we are sitting at 19 or 20. I'm not sure. I still have 4 making queens. Wow. Very happy with the girls' work this season. Now that is amazing. Do you think it had to do with just you as the beekeeper or the weather? What is it? Why is it so great? Dehydrate peppers, turn them into powder, or pickle them are some of the suggestions from MKP over to Bobby with the pepper problem. Abundance Mother Earth Garden Club says, sorry I'm late. My grandson wanted me to show him how to make popcorn on top of the stove. That is a good skill. That is how we make our popcorn. I'm trying to grow popcorn. And if you haven't seen our shorts, I I don't know what that says, but what about your fans? We need our fix of Shawnee. The word fans threw me off for some reason. Yeah, it was like, oh, go live at 1 in the morning and not have any sleep? No, thank you, right? Yes, I'm trying to grow popcorn and it was flat the other day and I haven't been there. And that's great. Do all the wonderful things with your grandson. You can always catch the replay for the beginning of our conversation, Mother Earth Garden Club. DCBs, I have never juiced a cucumber. I use a masticating juicer and it's going to be in probably August's garden tour video, I believe. It kind of talks about what we're doing with the harvest, essentially, as well as what's in the garden and some harvests and planting the fall garden. And Bowtie, here I caught up to you. Good grief, I'm missing everything today. DCB says it's time to pick blackberries here. Time for my blackberry pie with ice cream. Barry says I just finished up eating a cucumber from Goblin's Garden. Oh, he has cucumbers. So good. Bowtie was making pickles tonight. He's doing a canning method. So that would be a vinegar brine. But I didn't hear if it was dill or, oh, what are the different kinds? Sweet? Bread and butter? Spicy, maybe? Like, what's the kinds? Suyo long cucumbers, says Bowtie, are over a foot long and delicious. Yeah, I like a lot of different types, actually. You'll see them in my harvests. Mother Earth Garden Club says I am going to turn my aronia berries into a sauce. DCB says this fall I plan on picking hawthorn berries and making syrup. The biggest surprise for Mother Earth Garden Club is large cabbages. I'm envious of you because I have yet to grow a large cabbage. The garden I was growing them in has never ever in 30 years made a cabbage. Something's going on in that space. It's cursed. And I'd like to try a cabbage planting in other spaces that I have created. CR, there you are. Bowtie says, biggest surprise, my new canna lilies have all put out 1 or 2 pups. Every single one of the 8 are thriving. They were toted here in the trunk of a realtor friend from across the bay. Well, that's fantastic. DCB says, oh yeah, soil temp is so much of growing. Yeah, some crops, cold crops, need your soil temp to be like 45 Fahrenheit to put anything in it. And then the warm crops, 60, 65 Fahrenheit before you put them in. All those microclimates, getting to know the temperature readings of the soil. MKP, I use a soil meter, but think it's either the soil or fungus. Last year, Oh, the year with the yellowing. My cucumbers were awesome. This year weather has not been playing fair. The weather, like extreme gardening with weather is the title of, I think it's a short that I have. It's such a learning thing because it's never the same. Bowtie has a $12 soil meter. Is it the water? It tests the water moisture level, Bowtie? Oh, don't dehydrate peppers in your kitchen, says DCBs. It makes you cry bad. Yeah, back to the sound. Hello, Rick. Great to have you here. I know. So yeah, the count is 4 so far as the sound losing game happening. I love that people are helping each other with what to do with abundance of harvest. Save the link when you drop out and come back. Speak and sign to us. I uh don't remember as much sign language as I used 7 years ago. So survival camp was 8 to 4. Bow and arrow, throwing stars, carving with knives, using a hand pump to grab water and filter it, um, hiking through water, like how to walk through water. They were supposed to build shelters, but I never heard about shelter building. Oh, see, Bowtie, this is the appropriate place to speak about um, this question. Um, this is the one I need. So, as of July 25th, the watch hours for Shawnee Grows is 2,993. So I will put that in the chat if you didn't hear me. So that's kind of what's coming up on the channel is we're going to hit 3,000, especially with this live stream in 5 days is when this loads to Watch Hour Land. And then I can hit the apply button for that first tier of monetization. And so my next live stream should be us having a party, celebrating all of you, watching me talk about gardening and participating and what I can offer you once YouTube allows me to have the the shiny things, right? Barry says, I have been having so many problems with my laptop for a few days now. It's has been reliable. Oh, up until 2 days ago? Like serious problems, Barry? Like it got too hot? Did it explode? What's happening? DCB says, I just mean that while they are dehydrating, they release the capsaicin from the pepper and they will make you cry. Do it out in the garage. Same with onions. I hear, and garlic. I hear that. I hear the same thing. DCB says it had to do with the season. We have real nice honeybee weather. Aw, God did it. I just tried to keep them how he told me to. That is beautiful. Oh, Mother Earth Garden Club, you made dilly beans tonight? So I have some green beans in the fridge right now that I picked 3 days ago. And I was gonna look up and see if I can lacto ferment them into dill or if it has to be the vinegar brine. If anyone has a recommendation for me for a great fermentation book, and I don't mean just the basics. I mean, I want weird stuff, okay? Because I have canning books, and of course they have a section about fermentation, but it's not enough for me. I would like a book dedicated to fermenting. Have a nice day, everyone, says Rick. Thank you for being here. The first batch was kosher dill. Okay. DCB says, I have honey boxes sitting in my living room. I am tired of honey. MKP, I'm going to look into my city ordinance if beekeeping is allowed in my yard. You should do that. I love that. DCBs, a cabbage would surprise me because I didn't plant any. That is part of the surprises in gardening if you didn't plant something and it shows up, right? Bowtie says, I started growing on soil temps last year, really made a difference. Absolutely. Barry says, I love your van shirt, Shawnee. We're just going to do a quick van shirt part of the show. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Bowtie says, my meter is the moisture pH light meter. Well, that's 3 different things. It's just 3 different things? No, this isn't Mushroom Mark's van shirt. Mm-mm. I don't know whose club this one was from. Every club has their own shirt thing from the party that I went to. Yes, 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 yes. This is our current watch hours. Our goal is 3,000, which we will hit. Thank you, On Tour with Radio Jonesy. Garden party. Oh, well, this live stream will push us over to 3,000 land. So in August, we will have a party, you guys. And I won't schedule it until I have all the nuts and bolts and I's and T's and, you know. Oh, 2921 for Radio J Talk is the channel I'm in competition with. We were racing to 3,000, but he put his hat in the what do you call it? There's a saying for the giving up kind of thing, like saying I win, I won, I'm gonna win, I'm winning. And now the race is to 4,000. So, spoiler alert, when I hit 3,000, I'm just going to tell everybody we're going to hit 4,000 and then I can be quiet about it because I have hit all the things that I need to and I won't have to be on a time crunch anymore because I need to hit it within 365 days of starting, which is like October. I would like to hit 4,000 watch hours. So we're going to do cool things on the channel to hopefully encourage more viewers, more subscribers, people to come on back, right? Bowtie has a dehydrator in the guest bedroom. Feel sorry for the person who stays in there next. Shawnee Grows promised to come take some of my tasks off my list to make more time. Okay, Barry's laptop issues. Both the mouse and touchpad would not let you select anything. You have to go into the task manager to pretend that you're doing a stop task and then close it out and then everything starts working again. So it's just that section failing. Okay. I told you you need a new one. MKP would like you to send them some honey. Ooh, to do all the fermenting. I like to do red onions and thyme and honey. I like doing peppers and honey, garlic and honey, lemons with ginger and honey. I wasn't a huge fan of the cranberry and honey, mostly because I didn't know how to use it. Oh, well, thank you, Radio Jonesy. I tip my hat to this wonderful young lady. Oh, Bowtie is also chasing, let's see, so you're chasing 4,000 because you're at 3,413, unless that's a typo. 3,413 as of July 25th. You will all pass me, I'm sure. Bowtie does his garden tours in 3 different videos because there's that much tour going on. So yes, we would appreciate helping out our friend Sir Bowtie in the chat. If you have not connected with him, find his channel. When did I make you a wrench? Not that it's a problem. Yeah. What peppers did I use last year? I have a honey fermented video about it. Like hot honey, you know what I mean, Bowtie? So like spicy peppers you can put in the honey, and it's the same process as fermenting any other thing. Put them in the jar, submerge them in honey, shake it upside down, leave it on the counter, and make sure it's burped. And then the next day, day 2, close it, shake it, make sure everything gets touched with honey, put it back on the counter, burp it. Day 3, same process. And what happens is the honey turns more liquid and it becomes hot and spicy. So you can use it as a marinade. You can take it as a spoonful for medicine reasons. You can use it as a finishing. Here we go. What does this one say? Mike's Cat at Gardening. Blend peppers and honey. Easy, awesome barbecue sauce. I know that it's a whole thing, okay? You can build a sure, build a desktop. Do that then, Barry. I shall not. You're going now. You're leaving? You're going to bed? I'm confused. Put it on ribs, says Mike's. Mike's the pepper guy. Yeah, hot honey. Never heard of it. What? I'm shocked you haven't heard of it. Look it up. I also have a video about fermenting honey. It's in my most popular videos. Um, you have a bed full of hot peppers and you haven't touched anything yet. Okay. Popeye's chicken has hot honey. Oh, you're going to the hot pepper honey video. Yeah, it's all the different ones that I made last year. Let's go back into my list. Um, did your plants ever drown in love? Be honest. My house plants all have, turned into compost. I think I have one, two, three. I might have three hanging on still. And then the ones that are outside for the summer, I don't even know if I want them in the house. I don't know. Timing is everything. You can't just plant when you want. Is that a surprise to anybody as they've learned on their growing journey? There are things like frost dates and seasonal timing matters. Like, I always hear about people growing in hot places, planting when the northern people plant, and it's not the same. Everything dies, right? So, understanding when the timing is right for your little location is important. And a map on the internet can get you there, but it's really a trial and error, experimental, talk to a local gardener situation, right? Also, here's something to talk about with the surprises in the garden. Did you know that you were going to have such an emotional connection? Gardening becomes emotional. You have pride. You have those moments where you did it, right? You have disappointment. Maybe it's about weeds. Maybe it's about an animal eating and decimating something. You have the excitement, that anticipation for the big harvest, and you have grief. It could be the grief of the season ending, right? So tell me all about your emotional experiences, um, how gardening has become a part of your daily life and mental wellness. Has the garden ever healed something in you or made you cry with joy? I know I talk a lot about how gardening is my therapy. I love it so much. It helps me on good days, it helps me on bad days. It gives me something to do while I'm outside. I look forward to it so much, right? Um, there's also good surprises. So let's do the video about what I found this year, the volunteer plants. Maybe it's do you see what's happening? Maybe it's a surprise tomato, which if that happens here, it doesn't really have enough time to ripen, to make fruit and ripen. Like we have to have our tomatoes started and going um, way before a volunteer would show up. Bonus harvests are great. Pollinator parties are fantastic. The joy of sharing harvests. The garden tours. If you haven't been over to the videos tab of Shawnee Grows, I have been putting out video garden tours from all kinds of gardens, not just mine, in my community, and I have at least two more to film. That was kind of the theme this month, and they're little, they're not big videos. That moment you taste your first homegrown food, was that a surprise for you? Right? Does it still hits you in the face. It still is um just as exciting as it was that first time. So let's try and share something. Is this the tab? So this is my compost pile. And this is the one I have here at my rental home. It's the one I'm trying to move to the offsite garden. And look at this giant plant happening out the back end. So where this is at is the alleyway. So I'm standing in the gravel, and that's this weird fence that's in the back. And then my compost pile has wire on it. So here I took a video at night, just like before the show started, to see how long it is. I didn't plant that echinacea plant there. How did that even get there?
how long it's gone. It's been checking flowers.
I haven't watered it. I haven't fed it. It's just living out of the compost and getting driven on every day. I don't know. I don't think it's going to produce anything, to be really honest with you, but maybe. We have less than 90 days before a frost comes. So that's a fun garden surprise to have that monster growing out of my compost pile. I thought these were ground cherries. I'm still kind of convinced these are ground cherries, but they might not be ground cherries. Is there a weed that grows that looks like this? Because it's where my ground cherries were last year. I just feel like they would have been ripe by now. So this little squash plant was in the compost, and I dug it out and brought it here to the front for it to get sun. These are raspberries and strawberries that came out of the earth. This is my rental home garden, so this isn't the offsite garden. Look at that. Tall up in the power lines. Those are just some surprises that I've had, right? The volunteers. The volunteers are fantastic. I would like things to volunteer out at the like the food forests and stuff at the offsite garden as soon as I let things go to seed, right? Or like we talked about earlier with potatoes, just leave a few. I also left a few garlic in the ground to go even longer. Let's see here. Oh, Mother Earth Garden Club cannot do honey diabetic issues. Dude, yeah, don't put yourself through that. On tour with Radio Jonesy, Mr. Bowtie, I will turn my device off the Shawnee Gross channel and give you a full-time watch for a week or two. Look at that generosity happening. Thank you. What is this, Storms? That's what I need here. A hot honey to cook for me. Oh, and stuff and things. CR says I didn't underwater, just underloved. Yeah, I mean, you have to mistreat plants to learn. That's part of this whole thing. Don't feel bad, you know? Bowtie says, sliced ginger and honey. Ah, why have I not done this? Yeah, exactly. I bet you can use your turmeric too. Mike says also easy pepper is pepper sauce. Put peppers in vinegar. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let it sit for a month in the jar. Use the hot vinegar on greens and cooking of vinaigrettes. Okay. CR says, who needs a therapist now? MKP says to Bowtie, I fermented garlic with turmeric and ginger. Yummy. Mother Earth Garden Club's going to make a hot sauce with hot peppers for others. I don't do spicy. So I am not a spicy person at all. So I have to really be careful what I'm doing. Mike had volunteer lettuce and plants that he didn't plant. I think all of your nature friends brought them in. Oh, Bowtie's never getting to sleep tonight. I'm going to show my seeds next, Bowtie. Mother Earth Garden Club. It amazes me how different each year is in gardening. I know, right? Sometimes it's kind of filled with disappointment because you had like the wrong expectation of it and you couldn't just let go, right? And some years it's like, wow, there's so much. What do I do, right? I know in the winter I just plan my garden. That's what I like to do is plan the garden. Do I follow the plan? No, it's just for fun. There are tons of YouTube videos on what you can ferment with honey, says MKP. That's right. Oh, the sound went weird again. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Uh, Investing in new equipment might happen, but we have to get through this other thing that's happening here in my personal life. And that's going to take in the short end 60 days to settle out. Um, CR says, well, it's plant available now, the NPK. I am glad that we inspired you, Bowtie. Yes, CR sunflowers. MKP just got into honey fermenting a couple years ago. Bowtie says, I have sunflowers coming up now. 1 foot tall mammoth Russians. Just getting started. The Wickershire project off grid, calming down just came from Jason and Cliff's live. Oh, that's right. It's Wednesday. You need a minute. All right. Well, I haven't showed my seeds yet, so good to see you. Do a bathroom break and such. Okay, what does this say? Don't water the stalk of the sunflower with a flower. Because something happens? Yes, Bowtie, I am not a spicy person. Okay, so, well, that's funny. He's gonna watch. He was like, when are you going live? He was kind of my big push to just get in here again tonight. Um, he used to be able to eat spicy things, but number 5, I lost the sound. Is it back? That's number 5. Sound, mic, am I back? I'm waiting for the. Can you hear me? Back now. Okay. I have 2 monitors, so it's nice. I can see it faster. Yeah. Yes. Let me go get the seeds. Mike says, agreed, they stole garlic from me. Gave it to the neighbors. No way. The nature did that? Hey, Gandalf. Welcome to our conversation where my mic keeps saying the browser shut it off for the 5th time tonight in 47 minutes for StreamYard, even though I'm using Chrome. Oh, Jay, you're awake. Hey, I wasn't sure if you would make it. We've had a very busy night in the gardening live streams with the Urban Gardener and the Garden Party podcast, and I found some time to talk. Um, and so I'm here. Hi, thank you for coming. Thank you all for helping out with the sound because it's so stressful to have it just leave the sound and not, yeah. Okay, so for the fall garden, I can't show where I bought them because it's a secret for operational security. But this is Danvers carrot. This is 75-day germination, so it is quick if I can get it out there in the ground. And I love carrots, and I've planted carrots 3 times this year. Well, Gandalf, it says in StreamYard's recommendation browser list that Chrome is the top performing browser. Now, what version of Chrome? Have I looked into it? um, this is another carrot. Now, they look the same, of course. This is called Scarlet Nantes. This is a 68-day carrot. I'm pretty sure the other carrots I planted aren't going to make it. I'm having a lot of rain and garden weeds and things falling on top of things. I'm not sure. This I'm going to plant. Now, technically, I wouldn't say this is specifically a fall crop because this will get damaged if it freezes, where the other crops are okay if we get a little kiss of frost, right? But this I have time for. This will mature in 49 days. This is contender bush bean for green beans. Okay. Next is one I don't really know if I'm growing it to eat it. Now, it's going to look like all your other friendly brassicas. This is called the purple top white globe turnip. It is a 57-day maturity. I have it just in case I want to fill in spaces. It's something that we use around here in the organic farming community for just a cover crop. It helps with clay soil. It produces a lot of mass and root and top matter, and it smells. And do I want to eat it? Not really, but I'm going to eat a few and then I'll probably just feed the soil with the rest. Um, this is looking like the same kind of seed. This is the early white Vienna kohlrabi, 55-day maturity. I have yet to grow a successful kohlrabi. I'm going to plant them in a different space because I need to have a soil test on that garden because it's cursed. I'm telling you. It's going to come back cursed right in the test. This also looks the same. It is lacinato kale, the dinosaur kale, right? Now, if I had my stuff together, I'd have little stuff started, plants started for kale, but we don't have our stuff together. We just have the lettuce and the beets and the cabbage started, which I did a show on. You can go look at that in the replay. I don't know what it was called. Something about fall planting live stream. They are outside now. They have graduated to living outside. What's next? That one we're going to save. This one, nope, that's the same category. Okay, here's these fun looking seeds. This is a rainbow Swiss chard, 62-day maturity. We're going to plant those everywhere. And then I'll probably plant these in August instead of waiting till September. But these are your radish. So I have two different types. I have a white icicle radish, 30 days. Usually that one gets pretty deep and big. And then a Valentine's Day blend. So I think it's purple, red, pink. 25-day. One is oblong, one is globe shaped. And then, like I said, I have all the beets, the cabbage, a little bit of bunching onions, lettuce. That is our fall garden seed tour. It has been too wet. Like that green bean pack was supposed to be in the earth. And then we got, well, what were the totals? Was it 2 inches one day, an inch the next day, an inch and a half the next day, all after another? Where are we in the chat? We're talking about Chrome and how much fun it is right now. Thank you for accepting my frustrations about it. I am not a tech person. The Wickershire Project off grid to save cupcakes here. Is that really supposed to be that word? I just dice jalapenos into small chunks and push them into the cupcakes. Kids no longer eat that really is the word, cupcakes. Bad dad, resourceful dad. All I know is cupcakes down, poof, overnight. You have to just stash them places, right? Bowtie says, I never had trouble with Teams or Zoom. Yeah, I use Teams and I've used Zoom, but not for YouTube, for my job. Connections on Chrome till Tuesday morning. Oh, recently. Shiny Chrome. Down, don't. Spelling? From the earlier message, Bowtie says, I keep telling you, Bill, you're almost as evil as me. Wickershire says, David, it's a treat. I just want one with tea in the morning. I just want one with tea in the morning, right? Mother Earth Garden Club. By the way, Wickershire, I do really want to make the ham and chive biscuits. They're on the to-do list. Mother Earth says, my carrots are doing okay. My sweet corn has had issues. Corn is hard to grow, I'm telling you. The squirrel damage, weather damage. Yeah, you got hit by that storm too, I believe. It was 70 to 90 mile an hour winds in certain places, heavy downpour, hail in some places, 2 nights in a row. Like it was tornadoes in South Dakota, and then that front came through the state of Minnesota with full force. Do you have an evil meter? Yeah. Measurements. Oh, Mike is gonna grow tons of purple bok choy everywhere. I love that. I'm really a big fan of putting the main crops that you want in, so they're in, maybe you've started them and you're transplanting them, and then like broadcasting stuff all over the empty spaces. And then if you have to chop and drop it, sure. If you can eat it, sure. I've really enjoyed doing that this year. I can't believe, do you really only have 60 days, Mike? At most? I mean, sometimes we get a frost by October 5th here. So let's not do it the hard way. Let's do it the easy way. How many days until October 5th? 67 days. I might get a frost, but if I have this stuff planted in August and it's mature in 67 days, it can handle frost. Because we might get a frost on October 5th and then it's warm until Halloween. I think I skipped something here. Mother Earth Garden Club, I have a second crop of peas that are potting up. Honeydew melon and sugar baby melons have small melons. Okay, I want to plant peas. That's part of the project of the solarization garden, taking that stuff off, the fabric stuff that I'm using, and planting peas. I have the seeds, like a dwarf variety, so it's not spending its whole time putting up infrastructure. My cantaloupe and watermelon patch, I still just see flowers. I'm a little panicked about it. Where's my fruit? Okay. What? You're just guessing. Are you serious, Mike? What? Pest Hunter Outdoors made it in. Hello. You were in another live stream, I'm sure, because it is Wednesday. Wickershire says here, all brassica seeds. Yeah, the black round balls. More trivial things I need to stuff in my head. Yeah, they all look the same. Every single one of them. How do they even know when they package it? I mean, they gotta have their stuff together, right? Good to see you. Bowtie has 120 days of growing season left. Maybe 150. You're just bragging now, Bowtie. Get out all of your gardening tips for new growers if they're watching the replay. They want to learn about the surprises and what you wish you would have known. Get it out before we end the show here. Mother Earth Garden Club says, Bowtie, don't try to dig out false indigo. You'll have a hole to China. Okay, we have Campfire Exploring Pam B. My volunteer tomatoes and the plants that sprouted in the chicken run is our biggest surprise this year. That is fantastic. I showed a little bit of the volunteers that I've had this year, just in this season. And it's one of those things that you leave behind. Have you ever thought of that? Like, because I'm in this rental home. I have planted gardens here and I've been closing them down. Like, I took all the back ones out. The front one is just, it's self-seeded and I have a couple GreenStalks. The plan is, if everything goes accordingly in the next 60 days, I am not going to live here anymore. And so whatever sprouts next season, I have left behind for the next person to deal with, good or bad. I'm hoping to dig it out. I'm hoping to get my strawberries and my tulips. I don't care for the rest of the raspberries. They can have them. I have enough at the other garden. Um, the chicken run, I would love to hear, Pam B, if you grow things for your chickens specifically. I've seen, because I don't raise chickens at this time in my life, where people grow specific plants like on the outside of the run so they can get at it through the fencing that they have. So I'd love to hear if you have purposeful plants for that, if you are still here. That was a couple minutes ago. Jalapeno cornbread, says Mike. Mike would eat jalapeno cupcakes. Oh, the volunteer tomatoes. We do see tomato plants popping up in compost piles and such. It it's with being zone 4B 5A here in Minnesota, to plant them, I wouldn't even see a fruit. Excuse me. Because we start our tomatoes in April, March if you're crazy, like Oh, Mike made jalapeno carrot cake. Was delicious. Oh, Bowtie has Everglades tomatoes growing everywhere, says to campfire exploring Pam B. Jay says to Bowtie, I need the bat signal or I won't make it here. I was online for 3.5 hours and needed to touch grass. I know. Uh, I'll have like a binge doing content watching with live streams and stuff, and I have to go out and like stare at stuff that's green and like just go outside and be not on a device, right? I totally hear you, Jay. I'm surprised to see you here, and I appreciate you being here. I'm gonna try and figure out when I get the awesomeness unlocked, when I earn the 3,000 watch hours, how to get a message out to certain folks, like maybe the members, um, about I'm gonna go live in 15, 30 minutes outside of the notifications that YouTube has. You know, whether that's me personally sending an email to a group of people, I would kind of like to incorporate that somehow because I am a pop up live situation because of my life. Mike says that storm ban passed right over me. I think you have videos, if they're not already coming out, about the extreme weather gardening. Right, Mike? See you next time, Pest Hunter Outdoors. Thanks for checking in. Hit the replay. CR can see snow in August. Man, you would need covers. Wickershire says to Mother Earth Garden Club, oh, fun fact. Take note, corn will hybridize. Spelling check. Same season. So glass corn near sweet corn is a no-no. Yeah, they cross-pollinate when they tassel at the same time, unless you mean poor kernel pollination. Not filling out the ear is a lack of. Oh, Jay, that's okay. I see your message here. I'll get to that. I see you. Um, when the pollen from the tassels in the corn doesn't hit each silk on the ear, each silk equals a corn kernel. So having a disruption in that, and then yeah, if you have different varieties tasseling at the same time, they'll cross pollinate that ear. Okay, Mike says, hold on. I muted it on purpose that time. 50-degree days, 40 nights. The thing that happens is we lose hours of sun, Mike, right? So it's like if you don't have stuff growing hard July, August to get to full maturity more by the time September comes, they take forever because we have less sunlight hours. Now, we talked about somewhere, it was with Bowtie. What's the word I'm looking for, Bowtie, for that awesome chart you made? The strength of sun exposure. That was fascinating, by the way, wherever we were. I'm getting all phlegmy here. It is wind pollinated, says Wickershire about the corn. Sometimes you need to have just more rows in general. On tour with Radio Jonesy down in Tasmania says we had good frosts here today. Jay says some plants can handle light or hard frost once the plants are big enough. One of the other surprises with gardening is how important sun is. Now, it sounds silly, but I was growing in spaces that got less than 6 hours, 6 hours or less. Crops that need 8 hours or more. And there is such a thing as too much sun, right? The sunlight game was sort of a big surprise for me when I was learning, as I'm learning. We learn as we grow. We grow every day in every way, right? Bowtie has a habit on checking to see if Shawnee Grows is live. Usually it's a short or a video or a live. I kind of try to have something out almost every day. Um, Mike had snow, a foot of it, October 7th. When? In 1932? Snow, I'm making fun of you because you're in Minnesota. We haven't had the snow like we used to around here. Jay says, I am 75 days till frost. Wow. Countdown begins. and it doesn't feel like it. Maybe it does feel like it if you've been growing long enough because it's so hot. It's been 90s, right? Which is not normal. Oh, we're plugged in, says Pest Hunter. It's 1:18 p.m. clear, cool, sunny skies over at Radio Jonesy's. Oh, because you're growing. Yes. Mike's talking about, to be fair, things I grow shut down under 50. Absolutely. Peppers, tomatoes, eggplants. None of them want to do anything. They're done. They just I was gonna say hibernate, but that's not the right word. They freeze up to not want to grow anymore, right? And Pam B is in Alabama. It is good to see you. Thank you for talking and sharing about gardens, because we love to do that here. Wickershire is making space for new information here. Please be patient. Mike says this will be the first time that you try growing frost-resistant things like the cabbages and the bok choy, the purple ones. Well, welcome to fall gardening. It is nice to have you over here. Not a lot of people do it in Minnesota, from what I've gathered. They just, I don't know, maybe they don't eat the things, they don't have the patience, they don't care about it anymore. I don't get it. Like, why not? If there's a chance, why not? Like, I'm just lucky enough to have a place where I can buy a half ounce of seeds for $2.50, right? That was the example of that one. Bowtie is still bragging about the amount of days in its growing season left. Um, Food forest permaculture. Greetings, Earthlings. Hi, Shawnee. Hello. Welcome to the conversation. We're just kind of throwing out, what are the things you learned the hard way? What are the good or bad garden surprises? Now, this year, in your first year, any words of wisdom for people that might be watching that either are in their first year of gardening or want to start gardening in some format. I know I'm going to film a tour of a first year gardener around me, how their crop is looking, and a little bit about how they feel about it, right? Are they hooked forever? Jay had a message, but I don't see it now on this side. It talked about having an hour's notice for a live stream, and I saw that, and I wanted to say thank you for your feedback. Um, Mike does have the video up yesterday about extreme weather gardening. Okay, well, I'll have to check that out before I go to bed. Yeah. So I'm like, do I have is there a way to have a place to send messages to a group of people that have requested to be alerted about, we're going live, or I'm thinking about going live, be ready, right? Um, Radio Jonesy says yes, grow lights and greenhouses. Oh, the Radio Jonesy network. When did you put that on your imagey thing? That looks nice. I bet did your daughter make that? Or was it Chat GPT? Mike's usually only thing alive by October is parsley. I am so happy that I have parsley growing like wild kind of here at the rental, that I needed to do that at the offsite garden. I need to grow parsley, have it over winter, have it go to seed the second year and reseed itself all over the land, because that would be magnificent. Here we go. Bowtie says the nice, wonderful graph that he built, and we were having conversation over at Emmanuel's podcast. The channel name is hard for me to remember. I'm sorry, Emmanuel, if you watch this in the replay. PAR, value of sun exposure. It matters, and I think it's a fun information to just look at when you're gardening, on where you live and what your sun exposure is. Jay says October, November, December is more cold storage in my gardens than a growing project. Yeah, you're just using nature's refrigerator if you want to keep things in the ground that have some kind of cover. Snow is a cover that counts. I know we've done that with carrots. That's worked until it was so hard you couldn't dig in the soil, right? There's that mixed up line. I had an animal behind me and now it's quiet. Oh, there you are. Ooh, you're not supposed to be up there. He's still alive. Um, Wickeshire, Mike, don't listen to Shawnee. She's trying to take us down. Prove her wrong. Grow radishes. Um, Show her up. You can grow. Good garden joke right here. Someone will explain it. She show. I was right. Okay, I fixed it without even knowing. Bowtie says, I have yellow and purple flowered false indigo seed chilling in the fridge. Mother Earth Garden Club says, under the impression dynamite is needed to get false indigo out. You guys keep talking about false indigo. I don't have any experience with it. Good morning, Anne. Did it cool down? I don't even know if I should ask. I hope that your weather has figured itself out and is more friendly for you. Howie still has 5 to 6 months to frost. Wow. If you're just joining us in the chat, we are just putting out what gardeners have learned the hard way. Speak about your experiences. Speak about how it helped you emotionally. What are your words of wisdom for future gardeners? There is a cat doing things over here, and so I might have to grab it real soon here. I showed my seed haul for fall gardening, what I'm going to be planting. I showed a little video of my garden surprises this season because there's always something, right? It's never dull. It's never a dull moment. Um, Bowtie says, I can't start a Shawnee Girls live stream without plugging in. Jay is very envious of Howie's land and season. Welcome invitation to move, Jay. Mother Earth Garden Club, we will be shoveling the white stuff in 5 months. Hopefully. I mean, we haven't been getting any snow. Campfire Exploring Pam B says we get snow occasionally, but the abnormal low temps of below freezing for a week in the 20s messes us up for a while. What have you been doing? Why are you wet? I don't know what have you been into? The mic. Is that number 6? Am I back? Did you notice? I had a notification. Check your microphone. Yeah, my browser gives me a red. Your browser has disconnected your microphone because we hate you. I must be okay right now. This says it's okay. Good. Okay, thank you. Um, I love lots of snow. We have to have snow here. We didn't have enough snow this last season that we lost perennials because we didn't have the insulation for the cold that we get. It's very frustrating. Pest Hunter Outdoors is 8B Southeast Texas. It's a whole different growing area there. Mike says the internet says this year's first frost likely September 20th. We shall see. We would like you to keep track and report back for sure. Absolutely. Howie says half a century ago I started growing food and I am still learning. That is something that I think draws me into gardening the most is I am always hungry for knowledge. I love having different aspects that I can deep dive into and research and talk about and learn because you never learn it all. You don't. You just can't. Pest Hunter Outdoors went from arid to rainforest, big difference in the watering. The watering challenges of understanding each plant's needs, the timing, how does the soil feel, right? You can't tell by just looking at it. Anne's place. I learned everything burned to a crisp in heat waves. I know, Anne, I've been thinking about you. I wondered if your planting calendar should be adjusted, if there's a way to like grow not during this hot season, right? Jay says, in my region, people give up gardening September 1st through 5th. A rare few garden in September, less than 5%. I'm the wackadoodle who plays with fall gardening when my health permits. I think it's worth a try. Thumbs up, reminder. Thank you, Howie. Jay, an email, a text, the tweet thing. I have to figure out something because that's what I want to offer. Um, Probably a member thing if you want access to knowing we're going live. I don't know. I'll think about it. Maybe I want to do it. The part I'm hesitant on is, do I just try and include everyone, or is it an elite group of people that you get because you've uh, said you want it, right? Like, I have a website. I've got this email list thing set up where you can go and you give me your email and I'm supposed to like send you a newsletter. Have I? Have I sent newsletters? No. Do I even know how to run my website? No. Do I even want to like direct people to that to try and no. Maybe if I spend some time and learn how to run it and use the resources there, perhaps. Bowtie's talking about last winter we didn't get freezing temps until late January, but then we got 5.5 inches of snow on the beach for the first time in recorded history, and that would be 180 days left. Again, just got another jab in there. Um, Radio Jonesy looks for Shawnee Grows videos around lunchtime. Well, that's not too bad. 6 minutes? I mean, if that's still 6 minutes. Gandalf, have a good one. Good to see you. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know what his channel name is. Something about something. Here we go. The Urban Gardener has it. Emmanuel. I always want to say acre. I literally can't say it any other way. I'm saying acre. The Ultimate Gardener is the channel, and then he has a Growing Generations podcast. If you want to be a gardener on his podcast talking about things, send him an email. Yeah, I just can't ever. Can it just be the Ultimate Gardener, or is that already a channel? Or just be Emmanuel, and then I always want to say acre. That's what my brain says. Mother Earth Garden Club. By October, I'm putting plastic on my windows and putting summer tools in the greenhouse for winter. Yeah, October is when we plant garlic. Anne's place says, nah, no luck yet. Another heat wave when we were promised it would rain yesterday. Oh boy. Howie is in the warmest part of Canada. That's right, Jay. And Jay is in about the third warmest, but there's a big difference in temperature and season. Yeah, yeah. I know. Now there's like a whole situation with a cat when I'm done with this. CR has 12 reasons to grow sunflowers. I think it should be on a beginner gardener's list, is sunflowers for sure. Unless you're allergic to them, then don't do that. Brooke Trout 1, good to see you. Gardening in Southwest Florida is way different than Wisconsin. Besides the sun and heat, my biggest problem is the critters. Rabbits, squirrels, rats. It's a constant war. Nature is out there. Thank you for sharing. Do you think that's what it was? No, Jonesy. I hope it's just something in the kitchen. I don't want to know. Um, I do the heat that Anne has been talking about, CR, like 110. There's mulch is not going to save a plant at that point. I feel like you're just unless you're growing in the shade with shade cloth and mulch and water every day, you know. Anne says my planting needs to be severely adjusted as this is the second year of total failure. Yeah, I think there's a trick with timing and like location of not where it gets full sun if it gets that hot during planting time. And I think you've talked about not having a local gardener buddy to help out because you have a very specific area to you. Yeah, before I start reading it, Bowtie. Serena is in the conversation. Hello. I don't see Barry the messenger group thing. I can't do that. That involves Facebook. I don't want to do that. And I don't want another thing. Like, I don't want WhatsApp because that's another thing. It's got to be like, just give me your email and I'll add you to the list of people I email when I go live and you'll get an hour's notification. Because I can send you that email before I even start setting up the show. And I appreciate you all listening to me brainstorm ideas on how to run the channel in the future because we're going to be having a party in August. Um, Campfire exploring Pam B. Our garden is struggling in the 95 to 98 daily heat that we've had. That's abnormal for this time of year. Oh, I thought it was normal in Alabama. You're going to plan for something for fall? Absolutely. And perennials. I think that a big thing to tell beginner growers now, I don't know how long you've been growing Pam B, but just why can't we just tell them to get started with perennials? Give them some wins, right? I'm still saying acre bow tie. And he can send me an email about it if he wants. Anne says the sunflowers did not come up. Well, something ate them then, because they're delicious. Oh, Radio Jonesy says all my members get an autograph photo. Fancy. Mike says New Orleans had bigger snowstorm, yes, than Minnesota. I've got a friend down in Louisiana who got to play in the snow, who's from Minnesota, obviously. Oh, well, thank you for the reminder. Bowtie. I appreciate your contribution to the chat rate. CR loves mulch, saved him. Oh, there's a cold front where Serena's at in I think Oklahoma. The high is going to be 88. Oh, that's a cold front. 72. That's perfect weather for me. The weather has been hot and fierce. Learning as we grow, that's absolutely right. And there is no local garden buddy to go, hey, when do you plant this? When do you do that? Barry is making huge changes on his devices. Mike said if I had heat like that, I'd grow shade and drip irrigation. A buddy would be a big help, and if a local gardener could just give you their schedule of when they do it, you know what I mean? Does anybody grow a toothache plant? It's in a container, it sounds like. Yellowing can mean a lot of things. Anybody have any advice in the chat? There's a crown, number 1 for Bowtie. So he's happy. If you haven't met Bowtie. Yeah, that's a great question, Campfire Exploring Pamby. How do we send you our email? So I do have my email in the About page of the channel somewhere. I don't know. They might have moved it. ShawneeGrows at gmail.com. Because yeah, I haven't decided how I want to run the email list, but you can send me an email right now, today, tomorrow, whatever. I think this is it. It's a public thing. It's not a secret. It's okay. Oh, Radio Jonesy gets 200 emails a day, and that's why sometimes you respond a little late. I barely respond to text messages on time, so I wasn't worried. That was nice of you to explain your situation. Um, Anne's place is thinking of planting everything again so they can grow in the fall. Fall garden. Yeah, I think if you have the resources to do that, do that. Absolutely. There is a door creaking. I have to pause this. I'm gonna have to end the live stream. Okay, I love you all. Thank you for being here. Goodbye.